What's up, nerds? So I'm coming to you today with this video because I've been a little bit out of it, for the past week or whatnot. But I wanted to talk about Captain America: New Brave New World because I have a YouTube friend named Barry over at Positronic Hypersonic, and he always tells me that. Well, he doesn't always tell me, but he tells me sometimes that when I go into a movie, I look at what it could have been instead of what it is, and he's right on that a little bit. That's a fair judgment. But I found this article from comicbookmovie.com. Okay. And I wanted to go over it and talk to you guys about the Captain America that we could have gotten. Not the Captain America that we did get and everything. And I'll leave the description. I'll leave the article post down in the description down below so you guys can read it for yourself. But I wanted to go over this article and just really talk about it and everything. So this is the article, and it says Captain America: Brave New World pre-shoots, details reveal Red Hulk's original fate, and more. And it says spoilers, but I'm all like, the movie's already out, you guys, so you don't need to say spoilers and everything. All right, so it says details about what Captain America: Brave New World looked like before the reshoots have seemingly leaked online, and it includes a different fate for Red Hulk and far more villainous leader and more. So says much has been said about Captain America: Brave New World's reshoots, and depending on who you believe, they were either extensive or just the norm for Marvel Studios. Now, I have to be honest with you. I honestly think that they were extensive. I mean, from what this sounds like, and I had said it in my review that the Serpent Society looked like it was pretty big in this movie, and we got plenty of scenes and pictures from street views and everything of different members like Diamondback and I can't remember, Copperhead, which was Seth Rollins' character. So I think that these reshoots were probably pretty extensive, especially since they it sounds like they spent a fuck ton of money on this movie. Okay, so it says, something we can safely say is that the movie underwent some significant changes. That's evident from the Serpent Society being cut and replaced with Giancarlo Esposito's Sidewinder, the leader of the power-free Serpents, and let us not forget the leader's divisive new look. And that's right, because the leader did have a different look, which we'll talk about in just a second. I'll throw up pictures while we're going and everything of what they were supposed to look like. So it says, now a new leak claims to reveal that Captain America: Brave New World looked like before the reshoots. We're unsure how much of this was shot or how accurate a few of the claims are, but much of it lines up with what we've been hearing. From Red Hulk's original fate to Samuel Stern's master plan and cut costume heroes. You can find out more by yada, yada, yada. Okay, so it says Team Cap versus the Serpent Society. Sorry, I needed a little libation. So I said set photos confirm that Captain America was once set to battle a superpowered Serpent Society, according to this leak. Sam Wilson, led by Falcon, and a suited up Isaiah Bradley in battle against the villains. Now, I just want to say right now, I did like Isaiah Bradley in this movie. He broke my heart a little bit and everything with his, especially when he was like, don't ruin my suit. And he said he got married in his suit. And I was just like, that was a nice touch. I was like, oh, poor. And he's like, no, I can't go back to jail kind of thing. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what he said. I only saw it the one time. But I did like that. And he did a great job acting wise. Okay, so let me read this because this part makes a lot of sense. So it says, similar to what we saw in the finished cut, the mission was to retrieve stolen adamantium, and the confrontation was seemingly going to culminate with Cap and Joaquin Torres taking on Diamondback. And then promo art has shown Isaiah in costume, and had he helped recover the stolen metal, it would make sense for him to be invited to the White House before succumbing to the leader's brainwash. Now, this part, I really wish they would have kept in the movie. And this is why. Because I think seeing Isaiah Bradley in his costume and fighting would have been super freaking cool. And I think it made more sense for him to be invited to the White House on the terms that he helped get that canister from the Serpent Society. I think that made more sense because I think one thing about this movie that a lot of people can agree on, maybe you can't, I don't know, but it's very obvious to me that this movie was chopped up and it was more of like 3 different movies just culminating into one, hodgepodge of a mess. And I personally didn't like the movie. If I had to go 1 through 10, I'd give it like a 3, 4 tops. I personally didn't care for it. I just thought it was just a big mess, in my opinion. So, but if you liked it, by all means, have at it. I'm not judging you for liking it. You like what you like. And it says a very different Ruth. So that's Captain America Brave New World. Producer Nate Moore has claimed that the decision was made early on to ditch Ruth Safarf. I don't know how to say her name. Sabra's mutant powers from the comics. This new intel somewhat contradicts that. Now, I have to just say right now, I do not believe them. That I think the only reason they ditched her as Sabra was because of the Israeli-Hamas conflict. I think that that's the only reason they did that. And a lot of people, they punished this woman because she was born Israeli and decided to boycott the movie. Now it's like, if you're a Jew, and you're in a movie, it's boycott time, which I just go, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't boycott a movie because of somebody's stances, or wherever they were born. It's like they were born in Russia, which I think I read an article one time where a ballerina, she got cut from a ballet, or they asked her to step aside after Russia invaded Ukraine, and she ended up suing because she was like, that's not my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, honey. Okay. So this says, boom, apparently Ruth would be shown totaling a car with her shoulder while chasing down the brainwashed Isaiah, which I think that would have been cool. I would have kept that in there. I mean, you could have done, because from what I understand, she was supposed to be a super soldier also, because from what I understand from the original movie is that it was supposed to be the adamantium, but also they were trying to create a super soldier for every country, kind of like Iron Man, an Iron Man suit for every country to help protect, the world, kind of thing. What Tony Stark wanted to do, but, and she was going to be Israel's super soldier, which I was like, I don't know. I just, some of the ideas that were put out there, I feel like were just a lot better than what we got. But we got what we got, so you got to deal with it. But I do think that this would have been cool to see her take out a car. Now, her story arc also differed after she acknowledged the super soldiers incident after telling Sam about where she gained her abilities, which were likely Red Room related. And once again, as posters and promo art have confirmed, Ruth was meant to suit up and fight alongside Sam and Joaquin, which again, I think that would have been cool. I don't know why they're adverse to adding these heroes. I mean, this one, I understand why, but I think it's stupid. So it says, no Bucky. Unsurprisingly, Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes was not in Captain America Brave New World's original cut. That's because Thunderbolts was supposed to be released before this movie, only for a 2023 strikes to screw everything up, which I do feel bad for them that the strike kind of messed everything up in their whole schedule. But yeah, I thought it was so, when Bucky shows up and he's like, oh, I'm a congressman now, or I don't remember what he says. So please don't get mad at me if I'm not 100% on point. I just thought that scene, it felt to me shoehorned in a little bit. And I was just like, I mean, like, I didn't hate it, but I was like, whatever. And if you watch the trailer for Thunderbolts, he is a member of Congress, or Senator Congress. Yeah, I think he's Congress. Anyways, as you know, Bucky was there to offer Sam some support after the Falcon was shot down. However, in an earlier cut, Torres was going to be taken down by a jet rather than a missile, despite someone who attended a test screening claiming they saw Logan Kim as Amadeus Cho. This leaker alleges that he was never in the movie, similar to how Giancarlo Esposito was said to be playing G.W. Bridge when he was Sidewinder. Now, I just want to say right now, that could have totally been true, that he was going to play GW Bridge and they just switched it up. That there's no evidence that person was lying. I'm not saying that they're telling the truth, but that person that said he was supposed to be GW Bridge could totally have been that could totally be true too. We don't know. Because we'll never know. We'll never know. All right. So the Elite's original plan. Now, I just want to say right now, before I get into reading this, I thought that the leader's plan in the movie was just so stupid. I mean, like, it was like, I'm going to ruin your reputation and your legacy because I'm mad. I'm a petty bitch and everything. Although it wasn't, I would have been petty too if you locked me in a basement forever. but and promised me freedom if I helped you out, and then didn't give it to me. But you can't let the leader go. The leader's too, and the leader's powers was just so weird. Like Sam Wilson totally, like, he's supposed to be like super freaking brilliant and smart, the leader, but Sam Wilson figured out all his crap. Like Toot Sweet also, like they gave away the plot real fucking quick. They're all like, oh, they're hypnotizing people. I'm like, why don't you let that shit kind of like simmer a little, like kind of like let it percolate a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so all right, so it says the leader's original plan. So it says, as we've already explained, the leader was indeed meant to have a design far closer to what we're used to seeing in the comic books. That changed when his story arc evolved through the reshoots to make the villain a far more tragic figure, which again, and I'm putting up a picture of his original look, but again, I thought making him a tragic figure, like feel bad for the why are we getting to this point where we're supposed to feel bad for the villains? That's what I've hated about Marvel and Disney a lot lately, is like, and a lot through any TV or movies. It's like there's a villain, but we're supposed to feel bad for the villain. And I'm all like, no, we are not supposed to be bad for the villain. Bad guys are bad. I want my bad guys bad, and I want my good guys good. Like there can be a little bit of a gray area, like they thought they were doing good, but really, when you look at it, it's objectively bad. It's just, they're just so, it's such a psychopath that you're all like, okay, I can see why your demented brain thought this was good, but it's not, and everything. So I just hate the fact that the bad guys are not bad. And it says, it said that this earlier version of the leader stole a military helicopter to watch over the battle at Celestial Island and taunt President Ross in the hope he'd transform. Samuel Stearns also orchestrated his own capture so he could leak what Ross had done and then make him Hulk out in front of the world, which isn't overly different from what we saw in the theaters. As Captain America Brave New World ended, though, the leader escaped from prison, not to the raft, after brainwashing another helicopter pilot, which I thought that would have been way better, because that end credit scene was fucking bullshit. It was dog shit and everything. Like he's just all like, and it was so vague, right? Like he's all like, something terrible is coming, Captain America. And you're all like, what? That's it? How? Okay. It could be anything. I'm all like, get the hell out of here. I thought that was stupid. And they took the leader off the board. Like now he's in prison, which, I mean, I guess they could put him back on the board, and they should. They should put the leader's a good bad guy in the comic books. I don't know why they keep taking these really good bad guys and A, not using them effectively, and B, killing them off too sweet. Like Hela was a good bad guy, but they killed her off. Supposedly, she could be brought back. And then let's see, and then Gore the God Butcher is such a fantastic bad guy in the comic books. He is great in the comics, and they wasted it. And the same thing with the leader. I mean, like, and like, for instance, Taskmaster could have been really freaking cool, you guys. Taskmaster could have been one of those characters that keeps showing up, and they ruined it because they're stupid. And then finally, the leader could be a really good bad guy, but they're just not. And same thing, Baron Zemo. They do not use Baron Zemo enough. I'm all like, you guys, you have these villains, you have them on the board, use them good. And I'm all like, you need to get some comic book fans in here and really just kind of shake things up and make it like, make Marvel great again. MMGA. Mga. I'm copyrighting that. Don't steal it. Okay. So, all right. So it says the original Captain America versus Red Hawk battle was allegedly deemed less realistic because Sam Wilson withstood a few too many hits from the rampaging commander-in-chief. If this leak is to believe, late in the battle, Cap was going to remember that adamantium can absorb gamma, and so Ruth brought him the canister retrieved from the Serpent Society, using that on Red Hulk's open wounds, and then the villain is depowered. But Ross's heart appears to stop, and he dies. A funeral is held for him, and the world believes that the president has died. While Betty Ross originally didn't answer her father's call, she does attend his funeral. So see, I thought that this would have been it was at least decent. I think that also, during this movie, I'm all like, first off, I did hate Captain America's suit. I hated it. I hated the Ant-Man helmet. He's got the wings, and it just wasn't that great. But I think that depowering the Hulk like this was way better than what they did. I mean, they did the whole the sun's setting, big guy, or whatever they did with Scarlett Johansson and Hulk and everything. But this time it just didn't work for me. I was like, I'm not feeling it. But at the same time, but at that point, I was all like, I'm ready to go. This movie is just like the Red Hulk scene is like really the only scene that I really like. I mean, I kind of like that battle at Celestial Island, but other than that, I'm just like, ugh, this movie. Okay. All right. So last thing, the post-credit scenes. Now, this actually sounds also interesting, but at the same time, a little bit of wah, wah, wah. Anyways, it says, there are big gaps in the Captain America Brave New World leak, including who and why fakes Ross's death. Yes, a post-credit scene supposedly took us to Betty's home on a rainy night with scorched footprints leading up to her door. With that, lightning would have lit up the sky, showing Red Hulk's silhouette and glowing red eyes, only for him to have vanished on the second flash. This is intriguing on several levels, but means Ross would have never been held accountable for his actions unless the leader was the one true villain and he was an innocent bystander of sorts. And while not a post-credit scene, the movie was reportedly set to reveal that Japan figured out how to synthesize adamantium into a liquid metal, a fun tease for Wolverine's eventual debut. Now, okay, so here's what I think about this overall. Okay, that post-credit scene would have been fine. I don't know if we really. I personally listen. If you ever read the comic books, Red Hulk is kind of cool in the comic books. So I don't know. Just again, they have these villains and it's one and done sometimes, and I'm like, why? Why does it have to be one and done with these villains, especially the really good ones from the comic books? Like for instance, listen, I have nothing against Jonathan Majors. I'm actually on his side, but Kang's a shit villain in the comic books, in my opinion. I've never liked that villain. I don't know why they made him the forefront of the MCU. I personally always thought after Endgame, it should have been Doom and they should have kept it on Earth, in my personal opinion, and then brought forth the Fantastic Four. I've had this whole thing. Fantastic Four should have been the movie right after Endgame, and if not, because of all these other movies, it should have been like toot sweet. Get that movie out there as fast as possible because they need Reed Richards to be the character to center around like Iron Man was. And then Doom was the big baddie of the MCU in the next phase. But they didn't do that. They did Kang and they did this multiverse saga, which has been a complete abortion. It's just been completely, and it's just been bad. It's just been bad. Okay, so what do I think about this movie that we could have got? I want to be honest with you. After reading this article, I'm not 100% sold that would have been better. I think that what we got was probably the best we could have got from all of this. I don't like the whole Hulk dies, comes back to life scenario. I did hate the leader's whole plan. It was just so stupid. But at the same time, I'm all like, it's fine. I wish they would have kept his look like they did like I was supposed to be in the original look or whatnot. But overall, I mean, listen, again, I didn't think this movie was still that great. I sit and think about, what I liked about it and what I didn't like. And I still hold to the fact I liked the acting of those three actors, Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, and Isaiah Bradley. But what is the actor's name? I can't remember off the top of my head. I did like those three actors a lot. But the Red Hulk fight was great. And I did like the Celestial Island fight with they're flying and the missiles and stuff. But other than that, the movie was just, in my opinion, a big waste of time, and I feel like Anthony Mackie is his, I feel like Captain America, Anthony Mackie's Captain America is just not, I just don't feel like it's working. It's just, they just want to shove too much shit down your throat and everything. But all right, that's all I got for this video, guys. I've already taken up so much of your time, but tell me what you guys thought about this article and this movie that could have been. I know it's like not good to dwell on what could have been, but at the same time, I feel like there was some interesting stuff in here. Maybe they can bring back the Serpent Society, later on in another movie or a TV project. I don't know, but tell me what you guys thought about this. I'll leave my review, in the iCard section, everything. But yeah, go ahead and leave all all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. You know, I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I will see you guys on my next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.